I hope everyone is doing great today. Welcome back to my channel, and for anybody that's new, welcome to my channel as a first time viewer. I'm gonna get a little bit controversial today, and so bear with me. Let's talk about it. So today I want to talk about the largest crime bill in US history. This was drafted by Joe Biden in 1994, and it was signed by then President, Democrat President Bill Clinton, and it was the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, which we all know as, the Crime Bill of 1994. So it's a lot to touch on, but so now that Joe Biden is the lead nominee for the Democratic Party, and he is looking for many votes from not just the black community, Hispanic community as well, but he's looking for young people to come out to vote. And to be honest with you guys, when Joe Biden was nominated for vice president in 2008 with Barack Obama, when he picked him to be his VP, I didn't know much about Joe Biden. I thought that, hey, he's a senator in Delaware. What kind of harm he could have caused? I wasn't thinking at that time. I was a little bit naive, a little bit ignorant to politics, and then I just developed more of knowledge throughout the years of what he's about. He's not that great of a person. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background about the prison system in America, we are leading the world in prison population. We have about 2.3 million individuals in prison as we speak of today in 2020. And if you want to kind of break it down, about a little over 1833 state prisons in America and 3,134 local jails. So what does that tell you? That this crime bill back in 94, it did more harm than good, right? So we put a lot of money, about $10 billion, into the prison system in 1994, and that was considered, obviously this was the largest bill, that was considered major. So now looking at the bill back then, I mean, I was about 10-11 years old when the crime bill was signed and put in place, and I think we needed more programs than we needed more jails, right? So if we have 2.3 million people in just the US, and then we even break it down on the world stage and globally, right? So we have about 9 million people in prison, and that's broken down from, was it the US, China, and Russia, right? That's half the world's prison population. So America, China, and Russia, of those 9 million people, they're in prison, right? So that's alarming numbers, and I get it. With China and Russia, the population is very high. I know China has over 1 billion people. Russia's a big country as well too, but America, we're about 30 million people. We're one of the smallest countries in the world. People don't know that. We look very big because we have Hollywood music, athletic stars, so we think reality stars, viral stars, so we think that we are one of the largest countries in the world. We're actually one of the smallest of hundreds of countries in the world, right? So that's just alarming to be such a small country, but we have 2.3 million people that are incarcerated. So now with the election coming in November, I just don't think I'll be the one voting. And usually I vote Democrat, and I'm more independent. I don't really, now in my life I'm more independent, but we know with independent votes, it doesn't go anywhere, right? So I voted for Hillary Clinton back in 2016. I kind of held my breath. I wasn't sure. I said, I'm going to vote for her because I wasn't a Donald Trump fan because of things, that he says and things that he's hiding. Just so many different things. And I was going to vote for him, but I kind of held my breath to vote for her. But now with this election in 2020, I don't even know if I'm going to vote at all, guys. And I voted the last 3 elections. I voted for Barack Obama twice and Hillary Clinton in 2016. And I was on the fence. I said, you know what, I'm going to vote, again. But then when the nominee was Joe Biden, I said, I don't know. And I get it. Everybody's saying, hey, everybody should vote. These are people that are not with Trump, that are against Trump. They want Trump out of office. the less of two evils, and I understand that. But at the same token, I'm like, Joe Biden, he's done some damage to the black community. He's done some damage to the Hispanic community, but the black community in general. So let's talk about it, guys. So out of the money that was funded for this crime bill in 1994, as being the largest bill, $6 billion were committed to prevention programs. I do like the whole prevention programs. I did like that about the crime bill. I think the whole bill was a big accident, if you ask me. I think it was something, hopefully, that the people that were a part of it hopefully regret some parts of it. I know Bill Clinton, he said that as well too. But Joe Biden, he came out a few years ago, I think on, was it MSNBC or CNBC, and he said that he doesn't regret it. Now he regrets it. So he's flip-flopping. He's, walking, he's just hypocrisy. He's a hypocrite right now. But I think the money that was given to those prevention programs, I thought was pretty good. I don't know about $6 billion, but definitely that was good. But my issue, and I think everybody's issue, especially in the black community, was the $10 billion funded for prisons. And we know that money, oh my gosh, I mean, you could have created jobs. You could have created different programs in the black community. You could have helped with housing, things like that, different programs, small business loans, funding, grants, whatever it could be. But you put so much money into these prisons, and we all know the majority are in prison right now. Even though the black community is about 13% of America, the majority are in prison. You know what I mean? And I think in America, the population for white Americans, I think, was it 60 or 70%. But they have a high percentage in prison too, but not as black Americans. And that just shows you that this crime bill was targeted towards that community. And that's unfair, and it definitely caused a lot of damage in the community, within families, fathers not being around, and being locked up. And we know 1 in 5 people in prison, they're in prison for drug offense, right? So a drug offense will put you in prison, and we all know that back in the early 90s, I think 91, that was kind of like the epicenter of drugs, and with crack cocaine and things like that. So that definitely raised the bar of how people are going to get locked up in prison. And it's just unfortunate, and I really, it's just alarming. But I wanted to talk to you guys just about, obviously, I kind of, it makes me think right now, why did Obama choose Joe Biden as his running mate? When it first happened, I think we all were shocked. I didn't even know who Joe Biden was, me personally. He was just, obviously Delaware's a small state, but he was a big name, right? Because he was the one, if we look back again, he drafted and wrote this crime bill. To be a small state, and you're that senator from that small state, and you're the one to write it and draft this type of bill that had a major effect on many lives. But my issue too with the crime bill as well too, why this bill didn't go into the white community? White people do crimes too. White people sell drugs. You know what I mean? Things like that. But it wasn't targeted towards their community. It was towards the black community. And it caused a lot of damage, and it's just unfortunate. And a lot of people are smartening up, especially now with the election coming up. Joe Biden and his people, they just came out to say that he can't get the votes for the young people, the black vote. It's getting hard for him. He can get the vote for the older black people because they're already older, and they're more like, whatever, we don't like Trump, let's just vote Joe Biden. But the young people, they're woke. They're saying, something's not right. We're not going to go out here and fight for Joe Biden to become president and knock on doors and kind of what they was doing with Bernie Sanders, right? They're not going to do that for Biden, because people do remember that 1994 crime bill. And if they were young enough to not to remember, it's called Google, it's called the internet, it's called YouTube, it's called the news, the media. They talk about it. They talk about it on CNN. They talk about it on Fox News. And the worst thing that is alarming for me too. It's like, damn, you know, this is a Democrat doing that. You expected more from a Republican to push a crime bill like this, but it was the Democrat. So it's just to show people too that they just automatically think that because if you're Democrat, you're just gonna, you know, the black or the brown people, they're just gonna vote, you know, for that person. People have to say too, Democrats are the ones, sometimes they don't want you in power. The people, the American people, they don't want that person in power. They want you to stay dependent on them. They want you to stay broke and poor while they get rich, right? If you're gonna be for a people, right, of poor middle class, you don't even want them to rise. So you're brainwashing them, and you're the same one that's getting them locked up. And you know, and I'm very disappointed in Bill Clinton, because it's funny, because you know, as a teenager and as a young adult, I was one of the ones saying, oh wow, Bill Clinton was my favorite president, things like that, because I didn't know any better. Again, guys, when Bill Clinton came into office, you know, after being the governor of Arkansas, he was it 92? I was that not 9 years old? I didn't know much. I just know that, you know, he was trying to clean up the Bronx, me growing up in the Bronx. So I was like, man, he's a good guy. And you know, the efforts, I think, in Somalia, things like that, they were hungry. So he did some good things. But this crime bill made me really understand. When I became an older adult, I had to understand what the damage was that the Clintons, that's Hillary, that, you know, with her super predator comments in the early 2000s, and then you have Bill Clinton, her husband, you know, he signed off. And for him to sign off, this was over 350, it was over 300 pages or something like that, this bill. So he signed off on it, so he definitely read it, he definitely knew what it was about. And to allocate all this money, and they even allocated 100,000 extra police officers, that's a big problem too, because what most people are going to say, and you know, white supremacy, they're going to say, well, you know, cops are, you know, it's good to have all those cops. That's too many cops, guys. You got to understand that those cops are targeting the black communities. They're gonna go into your community and then say, oh, I think you're a drug dealer, I'm gonna lock you up, I'm gonna do this to you, I'm gonna do that to you. They don't want to get to know you. They don't want to, you know. And it's unfortunate when they did all this mass hiring for all these policing. Like, what is, like, this is not a war zone. And but one thing I do get, if it's violent crimes, yes, they need to be locked up. I get that. But drug offenses, even, don't get me wrong, even like DUIs, that's bad. They need to be off the street. But come on, I just think that if you compare the white kid to the black kid, he's gonna get, the black person's gonna get more prison time than the white person for the same offense. I think that's the issue that brown people, black people are having, is saying, hey, if you commit the same crime, why is the black person getting more time? That's all I'm saying. I see, if we're going to be a country of equality and be equal, and let's slow down racism, things like that, it's so much that we need to unfix. We need to look at, peel back the onion, and really look at. But I think it starts, and not that it starts, but it kind of meets the mid-ground in the 1994 crime bill. So the bill has been, you know, was it almost 30 years, right? But Biden's gonna, I mean, there's a lot of people behind Biden, a lot of Hispanics, whites, some blacks. So he'll probably win the presidency. But that doesn't mean, you know, he's not going to get my vote, and I know other people that's not going to vote for him. But he'll likely win. He won't get the support from me as long as he's president, because I'm never going to forget what he's done, not just to my people, but the people of America. You're doing this to American citizens. Black people are not just black, they're American citizens, right? And it's not a race thing, but you're making it a race thing if you're creating a crime bill that is targeted towards the black community, right? Have you guys think about it? Anybody with any sense that know politics or anything about violent crimes or just crime in general, has this bill connected to the white community? Have you seen this bill in any way attack the suburbs, the rich, the wealthy? Hell no, it's not. It's not going to do that. So this topic, this video was very important to me, because it's something I've thought about a year now, and it's just, you know, it's just something to talk about. I want to know what your guys' thoughts, your comments, and let's have an intelligent conversation, right? And again, it's not about you're black, you're white, forget all that. Forget all that. Look at the bill, right? Look at the bill. Look who the bill targeted, and look at the outcome of the bill. who was more incarcerated? Was it black? Was it white? Was it Hispanic? What was it? And look at the population of each ethnic background, right? Again, black people only make up 13% of America. Remember that, guys. So to comment and say, oh, that's race baiting, that's easy. That's no thought into that. That's easy way out. That's trolling. That's like no sense. That's like a high school dropout type of comment. But just to really think and do research and understand and say, you know what, Javon, what he's saying, there is truth to that. You know what I mean? Because me, I have love for everybody. I don't care. Listen, I told you guys in one of my first videos, I said, I don't care who you are. You could be Asian, black, white. It don't matter. Native American, I don't care. Russian. If you're cool, I'm cool. That's it. It don't matter what race you are. But I go with facts. I really go by facts, and it's just, I don't know, it's about intelligence and learning and wanting to learn. So you see right now with protesting, there's more white protesters than black protesters. That tells you something, because there's white people that are like, hold on, they told my grandparents, my parents, that this was the enemy. The black people, they're not the enemy. They're cool people. They're just like us. We're all people. We're all one. We all live together as one. So they're the ones that's protesting, guys. So you know, I hope you liked the video. You know, I know it's controversial. I know it's gonna get many people feathers all in a bunch, but it doesn't matter to me. It needs to be, you know, talked about. And again, I don't know why Obama chose Biden. Somebody comment and let me know, what do you think why President Obama chose Joe Biden to be his running mate? You know, I never even think about it, but I really want to know, what do you guys, that is one of my biggest questions. Why did Obama, of all people, chose Biden? What was it about him that they said, you know what, I want him to be my guy, right? And you know, share the video and subscribe to my channel. I have more videos coming. You know, guys, I do sports videos, I do news videos, and I'm gonna do controversial videos about, and again, I've said it from the beginning, things that you guys want to hear, things that you guys want to talk about, I'm gonna talk about that. You know, I'm here for that. So let me know too if you're gonna vote, and if you're gonna vote, who you voting for. Are you voting for Donald Trump, or you voting for Joe Biden? And if you're voting for Trump, if you're voting for either one, and I want to know why, and I don't want to know why from Joe Biden voters to say I'm voting for Biden because of Trump. Give me something more, because again, the people I'm talking to that I want to follow me, I'm looking for intelligent people. I'm not looking just for the people that don't want to think, that just comment stupidly. Like I like numbers and all that, but I'm more than just numbers. I want people that follow me, that, you know, that they thought-provoking, things like that. And last, I'm going to say too that the government, they feel that when you lock up a man or a woman, and women are getting locked up more now than ever too, guys. Just keep that in mind. Women are being locked up, especially black women. I think that they think when, you know, you'll be rehabilitated when you get out. I don't think prison rehabilitates you. I don't think it reforms you. I don't think when you get out, you're just a new person. No, it messes you up. You know what I mean? Like, not just having like a felony on your record, it's hard to find work. Psychologically, you're damaged. You know what I mean? You know, you might start taking drugs, pills, prescription pills, non-prescription pills, whatever. It's just not the way to go. You don't fit back in society the right way. You feel, you know, discombobulated, you know what I mean, mentally. So you know, prison's just not the place to be. Again, I'm for prison if it's for violent crimes, and, you know, like, you know, rape and child molestation, things like that. I'm all for that. But like, you know, drug offenses, you know, small little weed and little coke, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people should be getting locked up for 5-10 years for that, or a little petty theft, doing 2-3 years in prison, you know, for stealing Pampers at a CVS or something. You know what I'm saying? That's all I mean. There's a lot of money going into the prisons. They should be going to programs and jobs, create jobs, put money in the people's pocket. And I think the pandemic with the coronavirus, you know, coming to light, I think it's really showing you the separation of poor, middle class, and wealthy, right? More money needs to go into the regular people's hands. So again, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for the support, and peace and love.